Shalom, brothers and sisters in Christ. It's already day 4 of this session about practical ways to express obedience. And today I want to look at this thing called waiting. What was so important? Why is waiting so important? When we look at Luke chapter 6 and verse 48, and it says there, Jesus is talking about the wise man. Yeah? He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently against the house and could not shake it, for it was founded on the rock. This thing about dug deep is not in the Matthew story. So in other words, the foundation wasn't an overnight thing. This man dug deep, very deep. So the person that wanted to build the house had to wait for the foundation to be strong enough to be able to move on it. And so in Luke chapter 6, verse 46 to 48, we read exactly the same story as in Matthew 7, verse 24 to 27. And once again, I want to hammer on this thing called digging deep. In other words, the builder had to wait a while before he could start building. Waiting is a difficult thing to do. We live in a society where everything is rushed. We want things instantly. Yesterday we talked about endurance. Our focus today is on waiting. But are we willing to wait? Waiting for what? Waiting for God's timing. When we want to obey, there are times that we need to wait in order for God's timing to come through. Kairos, the timing of God. We need to remember that a plant will not grow overnight. It will need time for the harvest to grow and to be able to harvest it. It will need time to reap. In between, it's a time of cultivating and waiting. A farmer waits patiently for the harvest. And that's the same with us. We need to learn to wait. How good are we really with waiting? Waiting for the reward, waiting for the promise. Now let us look at some examples. Abraham had to wait for 25 years for Isaac to be born by Sarah. Yes, they tried by themselves with Hagar, but the promise from God arrived 25 years later. Joseph, he had to wait for 13 years to see the dream that he had come to completion. Moses, it took 40 years to take the nation from Egypt all the way to Israel, which wasn't that long of a journey in the reality. And now we as a church, we have to wait for the return of Jesus Christ. Don't become impatient. Don't become impatient in your waiting. That you give up and say, Jesus will not return. I might as well go back to my old life. And you start backsliding. You start moving back to your old life. Remember, Isaiah 40, verse 31 says this: They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not be faint. There is a renewal power, a new strength taking place when we are truly waiting on that which God has. Challenge for us today is this: are you waiting patiently? Or have you given up and moved on, moved back? May God bless you. May He shine His face upon you. May His peace be with you. Remember, rejoice in the Lord always. God bless you.